Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Happy Snowy Thursday.
Yes, very snowy.
This is Rock and Read. What episode are we on right now? 4?
I think 4. I think
I think
that's right.
officially this is episode number 4.
Yes.
And today we have a really cool special guest with us. Last week we had a dancer. This week we have an author. So we are trying to just go all over the place with cool guests that have some really amazing talents. So, Amy, welcome. You ready to sing a little morning song?
Let's go.
All right. All right, boys and girls, if you got some hands, clap them together. If you got an instrument with you, get that out and play along. 'Cause I see a beautiful morning. I see a beautiful day. I see a beautiful morning. Nothing's gonna get in our way. 'Cause I see a beautiful morning. I see a beautiful day up ahead. I see a beautiful morning. Why don't you come and share it with me? 'Cause I see a beautiful morning. I see a beautiful day up ahead. I see a beautiful morning. Nothing's gonna get in our way. 'Cause I see a beautiful morning. Why don't you come and share it with me? Or share it with us today. All right. Welcome. Welcome. I think today I was actually thinking of I wanted to share one of the stories that we hopefully will get to hear today. I don't know which one John is going to choose to read, but this was the first one of his I read, Joshua and Pip, The Adventures of Joshua and Pip. They created that little cardboard airplane, and so the story. I don't want to be a spoiler here, but I do know that in the story they have initially there's trouble flying the plane, and then they have to kind of work around figuring out how to get it to fly. So I love that whole idea of trying something new, working hard and not giving up, even though sometimes we do fail at things sometimes initially, but just keep your momentum going forward and learn from those mistakes and those failures. So, what do you think, Amy? How do you feel about that?
I think you can.
Failures and
I think you can always learn from your mistakes and failures. You move forward.
yes, that's it. That's it. The forward path might look like this.
That's right.
or like that. But keep going forward.
Keep going forward. Just keep swimming.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome. Well, I think are we ready to get John on here?
Let's go.
Okay, awesome. Is he here? Maybe he's not here yet.
I don't see him yet.
See, boys and girls, we are learning as we go along with this. I want to actually let me get a couple of those other stories here. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. We're giving these stories away.
Yes, the big surprise.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost forgot that. Okay, so if you are watching now, or you know what, we'll give you a week. So that would be what, February? Is that the 18th?
February 18th. Yep.
So we'll give you a whole week to watch this video and comment, or maybe comment on your favorite part, or why you love reading, or what you love about music, something like that. Give us a cool comment under on the Martinsburg-Berkeley County Public Library page, and we're gonna find 3 lucky winners to get one of these books, one of John's books. This is the first one. This was the first book that he published, The Adventures of Joshua and Pip. And then there was a second adventure of Joshua and Pip. They're going fishing there. And then the most recent published book was My Mother's Wildest Dreams. And I think this one we're going to talk about today, I think this one's very, very personal to him. It's a really fantastic. All these fantastic stories. So we are going to give these away. We're giving away some beautiful stories. So get those comments under our Facebook post, and let us know what you like about the show. Maybe a guest you'd like to see, or I don't know what your favorite book is, some of your favorite music. What's your favorite book, Amy? Do you have one?
My favorite kids book is The War That Saved My Life.
What is that? Who wrote that?
Kimberly Brubaker Bradley.
And what's it about?
It's about a little girl during World War II who was part of the orphan trains in England, and starting a new life with her. It's very well written. It's very, very good.
Is it a chapter book?
Yes. Yep.
One
of my favorite picture books is Love Monster by Rachel Bright.
Two stories I've never heard of before.
Oh, they're wonderful. They're some of my favorites.
Awesome. Oh, very cool. We are reading my favorite author, which one day I hope we can get her on here, Kate DiCamillo.
She's wonderful.
Oh, we're gonna try. I'm gonna try and get her on here. She wrote a story called The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane.
Yes.
The
wonderful story.
Ooh, that's a tough one to get through without being emotional.
Yes, it is.
That's what I love about authors, especially like her. She is not afraid to tackle these really big issues that children deal with, but she does it in such a way that there's a lot of this. There can be despair in her stories, but there's always hope, and she just balances that off so well.
Yes, she's wonderful.
Yeah, I love it. And we're reading Edward Tulane right now. My youngest daughter and I. She's reading it at school, so I'm trying to prepare her for some of these parts.
Yes.
and really, I'm going through and trying to prepare myself again.
Right.
So, let me make sure that John is good to go. Oh, okay. I'm gonna pause. No, I'm not gonna pause. I'm sorry. John can't find our link, so let me, boys and girls, I'm gonna have to email him. Make sure he has it. Thank you for being patient with us. We will get him on here very shortly.
Yes. So while Tony's doing that, just a little background information that we can give about John. Mr. John is a librarian, and like Tony said, he's written these 3 books. And from everybody that I've known about Mr. John, they say he's wonderful and that he does amazing story times in the library. So everybody should check him out and check these books out. And if you comment, hopefully you'll win one.
We are actually not on Facebook.
Okay, there we go. We're not on Facebook.
Hey, there you are. Hey, John, welcome.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
All right.
Hey, Mr. John.
I'm glad you. I'm sorry about the link. I'm glad.
Oh my goodness! I was like, I couldn't find you. I thought it was gonna be something I joined on Facebook. I was like, what's going on?
We might be on Facebook. I don't know. Actually, I don't see the video on here. It might not be up, but we are recording. So if it says it's on Facebook.
It says it is.
We're somewhere out there on the internet.
We're in cyberspace right now.
Somebody's watching us out there. All right. So, hey, actually, before I forget too, John also has his own show that he goes live with every week on Sunday afternoon. And
Yes.
Who I Am, which I've seen a couple episodes now, man. It's a pretty awesome show, and I love the questions. You really get in deep with the guests you have on, man. And you always have you have a variety of guests that with it's very cool. So
Thank you. Yeah, I basically try to ask like people I see on Instagram that have just are interesting that I follow. And I'm like, man, I just want to kind of like hear what their life is like, from their perspective, because you never know what people have, what experiences they've had until you actually talk to them and ask them. And so, yeah, I love it. I love it because I get to collect all of these stories. Like I'm a storyteller, but I also like to collect stories and share them. So it's been great. It's been great. We don't have one coming up this Sunday since it's Valentine's Day, but we'll have one the next Sunday. And and I'm looking forward to having you on there as well.
Yeah, is that March? I know it's in March. I have it written
It's like
down.
but it's on like a Saturday though.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yes, I know. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
There we go. Are we all spotlighted now?
Hold on, let me get mine a little better. There you go. That's me.
I wanted to spotlight everybody. Okay. I'm sorry, John. I want to get you spotlighted. Okay. All right. So we should be all spotlights. So that means everybody can see all three of us at one time.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. So I know Amy had a few questions. Amy is our librarian here in Martinsburg. She just moved here.
April. Well, I started at the library in April online because everything was still shut down. So we moved here in June when the library reopened to the public. So I've been in the area since June.
All right. Well, yeah. Welcome. Look, welcome. I'm not even there. But welcome. How has it been? How has it been for you so far?
It's been a good experience. It's similar to home, but different from home. So it's good experiences. Met some new people, and it's always nice.
Yeah. I still haven't been to West Virginia yet. I was really close. One time I was in Front Royal, and I was amazed at how close West Virginia was to Front Royal. And I started to go and just drive across the line just to get there and then turn back around. But I didn't, so I still got to do that.
Well, I think when things open up, I know I talked to you a while back about having you come and do an author visit. We would love to have you do that.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, yes, indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta get out there.
That will get you to West Virginia.
Yes. Yeah. So, Mr. John, I'm a librarian, obviously, but so I wanted to speak to you a little bit how you got interested in being in a library setting and what that background for you was, because it's not something that kids want to go into nowadays. So.
I know, and I think it's more because children don't really see it as an occupation. Like, I don't think they think the librarian at school or at the library like is really making money.
Right.
For some odd reason, like, oh, of course they're not paying the librarian. The librarian is just there with the books. But yeah, but that's the thing. We need to let people know that this is an occupation, like that you get paid to do these things. I actually started in the library back when I first when I went to Old Dominion University, and I had a work study, and my work study had me in the serials department at the school library. And so I did that part-time for 2 years. And then when I was trying to find a real job after school, I thought about, like, oh, well, I have this experience at the library. Like, let me try the library. And so I applied at Virginia Beach Central Library to work in circulation, and they hired me. And I was there for almost 8 years in Virginia Beach Central Library. Then I left because for some reason I still after seven to 8 years didn't see my future as being a librarian. And so I moved around to different jobs, and then I finally walked into a library again and felt that that sense of that pull, like, oh, this is where you're supposed to be.
Of
like,
being
what
home.
have you been doing? Like, why have you been gone for so long?
That's
and
right.
So once I did that, I looked for some jobs, and I found one in Prince William County at Potomac Community Library. in the youth services department at that. So that was like dream job, and I've been there for the last 5 years, and I just love it. I just love it. I wish I would have came to my senses sooner, but I was since I've been there, I received my master's in library and information sciences from Syracuse University. That was in December of 2019, and so yeah, a bona fide librarian now.
That's right. So do you get, I know I get asked this question a lot. Do you get asked this a lot? So what do you do? So there's so many misconceptions about what a librarian actually does. So explain that a little bit.
So, I mean, the good thing with me is I work in youth services. So it's easy for the people to see, what I do, because youth services always has a lot of programs and a lot of things going on. So they see that I'm doing story time, I'm doing music in motion, we're doing book clubs, and we're hosting all these programs and guests like Tony, Tony M Music, So we have all of these people that we host, and we just share and do school visits and have schools and preschools come to visit the library, and we give them tours. So yeah, we do a lot at the library as youth services librarians. I mean, we are always on the go. Even when COVID hit, we had to move everything to virtual, and it was pretty much music in motion wasn't as long. We only do like one song, but we still doing music in motion, story times, the book clubs, and for Black History, I did a Kahoot trivia contest. And that was fun. It actually worked out. And I asked, this was for my teens, and I asked them, what are some of the things that they would like to see? And they were like, we would like to have some more of these Kahoot trivia contests. So, we just trying to find whatever it is that that our population, our community wants, and just trying to give it to them.
Good. All right. All right, Tony, I know you had a couple questions.
I did. And I was trying to write them down. Now I can't read my handwriting.
I know how that is.
Oh, well, I think one of the questions we were thinking of is like, maybe where you draw your inspiration for your stories. But I guess before we get there, like, when did you know you wanted to become an author? Yeah.
I've always tried to write. I mean, that's always something I tried to do. I always tried to write a story. But the thing was, in my mind, the only stories were like the not chapter books and novels and things like that. So I would try to write a story, and then I would get maybe 200 or 300 words in, and then I'd be like, what? Like I gotta write like another whatever 1,000 words, and so I would just get defeated, and I wouldn't do it. So I would start a lot of stories, but I would never finish them. And then when my sons came around and I started, telling them stories, bedtime stories, and again, working with the youth services. So I'm reading more picture book stories and, easy books. And I'm reading these stories. And then again, sometimes stuff doesn't always click when it should click, or at least when I think I wish it would click. But it was just like, oh, like you can write picture book stories. Like you can write these stories that don't have to be super long. And so then once I started, once I realized that I could do that, I was like, okay, yeah. So I that's when I started to write the story for my sons, The Adventures of Joshua and Pip, which is really based off of stories that I told them at bedtime. But yeah, so I'm just glad, sometimes it don't always click when it should, but I'm glad that I figured it out. Like, you don't have to write a novel to write stories. So
right. It does click when it should, though. It does. It actually does. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to click, but it does when it should. That's fruition. I love that, man. I love that about the process of like the natural flow of life.
Yes.
Sometimes, man. So I was looking. I mean, but I do think of. I am definitely a big fan of picture book authors because to get a message a big message in a short amount of words
Yes.
is not,
Mhm.
it's complicated. So I mean that is, I think that's a whole lot of time. I mean, think you write a novel, you have so many words.
Yeah.
I'm not downplaying writing a novel because no, I can't do that.
No, I
That's a
don't even
lot of
want
words.
to.
You're right. It's just a lot of typing. I don't have the focus for that, but getting that, conveying these like big messages in just compressing them is it's an amazing feat, and it's a wonderful talent to have. So and you do that in these stories.
Thank you.
All
Thank you.
three of them. And you may not have heard this. We're actually going to do a giveaway. We're going to give some of your stories away
Okay.
to some of our viewers today. But did you have one that you wanted to read a piece from, or read the whole thing? Or
I mean, I would read the whole thing. I mean, which ones do you have? All three?
we have all three.
But you said they're doing the airplane, or did they do that already? They do the airplane craft already?
Yes. So boys and girls, if you get this one, and you should, yes, Joshua and Pip, they create an airplane. So one of the crafts we did along with it was we had students that visited the studio. We cut out some cardboard. Actually, they cut it out. Their parents cut it out for them, and then they pieced some airplanes together. So yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah, it was really cool, man. It was perfect.
But so they read that one already then, right?
Yes, so we did read this one. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, so then what I'll do, I'll read my newest one. So this is my newest one here. It's called My Mother's Wildest Dreams. And this one came about while I was writing the third book for the Adventures of Joshua Pip. So you have the first two. And I was writing the third book for Joshua and Pip. And in the midst of writing that, I went to take a break. And I'm always kind of like researching my family history, my ancestry, and sometimes I go in and I go in there with different goals, and then I go and say, oh, let me see what people did, what were their occupations were, where did they live, and I was in the middle of doing that for like all of my mothers, and I was just like, oh, I want to go see what occupations the mothers in my family had. And as I was going through there, I started thinking about, how mothers are the ones that, really, they're the ones that they're always there for the most part. The moms are always there with the children. And just to think about all of the different hopes and dreams and aspirations they have for their families. And so as I was thinking about that, I started writing, and I was just writing it out. I guess it was a poem. When my wife saw it the next day, she thought it was a poem. And she was like, oh, I love the poem you wrote last night. And I was like, huh? Like, what you talking about? And she was like, the poem about the mothers. I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Like, oh, so you liked it? You liked it? And she was like, yeah, I like that. I said, okay. And so then I started looking at it some more and kind of edited it a little bit. And then once I got it finished, I was like, okay, well, now which one do I publish? Like, do I go and try to publish the third Joshua and Pip book, or do I publish this new book? And my wife wouldn't let me do both of them. so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna publish the new book because we got two of the Joshua and Pips out. And I was like, I want to put this one out because it honors my ancestors. And so so it's it's like a family history book. It's my real mother's. It's American history and it's Black history. And so if you want, I will go ahead and read this book here. It's called My Mother's Wildest Dreams. And that is my mother, a representation of my mother, and that is me. The illustrator is Monica Mackay. I found her on Instagram, and just beautiful. Once I saw her illustration, I knew that I wanted her to be the illustrator for the book. And so I'm glad we were able to work together to get this done. My Mother's Wildest Dreams. As you can see, they are, like making a little flower decoration. All the mothers have their own flowers. You'll see that throughout the book. So this is My Mother's Wildest Dreams by me, John Light Jr., and illustrated by Monica Mackay. I am my mother's wildest dreams. And see, that's me right there, looking at all of the family members and the pictures on the wall. I am the wish Grandma Hannah made as she labored to make her home safe and warm in the Old Dominion. Yep, she's putting that wood in the stove there. I am Mama Mamie's desire for her children to always find their way back to each other, no matter how long they have been apart. Yeah, the beautiful butterflies. You see the purple flowers. I am the hope Woo-Wah held that one day her children will pull down pillars of hate. That's my Woo-Wah. We're from Richmond. I am Mama Leela's belief that God would always bring the rain for the land and provide for the family. Yep. Mama Leela was a farmer. I am the anticipation that filled Grandma Ossie's heart when family visited. She always made sure good food was on the table. Yeah, you see some of your own good food. I guess it's some rice and some greens, some macaroni. See, I think this is some yams right here because I love yams. Yes, indeed. I am the confidence Grandma Ruth possessed in knowing trouble does not last always. Those are her purple tulips. I am my Grandcie's hope that a life of love and grace will forever follow her grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Let's see, she has the roses. I am the answer to many nights of prayer for the strength and ability to bring forth a child. Yeah, that's my mama with the white flowers and dad. I am my mama's wildest dreams. And those are all the flowers. The end.
Awesome.
There you go.
Thank you, John.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. And so each when I had the illustrator illustrate, she asked me for notes, and so I sent her basically a biography of all of the mothers and grandmothers, where they lived, what their occupations were, what type of place they lived. So did they live in the country, did they live in the city, how many children they had. And as you get closer to the ones that I know, you were able to get more information like this here. And this isn't something I asked her to do, but I told her that my grandmother, they used to sit around with the kids and sing songs. So they didn't have, for a while they didn't have TV. So what they would do is turn the radio on, and she would just tell her kids to sing whatever's on the radio. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if she knew my grandmother has a porch like this, but this is exactly my grandmother's porch. She has a large front porch. It faces the street just like this. And I mean, you could sit there and do that. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, did I tell you that that's what it looked like? Oh, so I mean, it was just wonderful. And this picture here is my grandma Ruth. Now I never met my grandma Ruth, but this is her son, my grandfather, John Henry Light Jr. He just passed on December the 27th, and I met him maybe 5 to 7 years earlier. That was my first time meeting him. But I met him and we clicked instantly. And so just interesting to be able to meet him and have and get a link to that side of the family that I didn't have before. And then last one, because I could talk about all of them. But so here on this page here, Grandma Mamie. So when I said that that the family would find their way back to each other, that was because we had lost contact with that side of the family because of divorce. That things happen, but that was us connecting. So when I found my grandfather, we were connected and we were able to bring that side of the family back together. So I love this book. I love it. And I love the illustrations, and it means so much to me.
Awesome. Yeah, I love how personal it is.
Yeah, I love how you chronicled your family. That's pretty amazing.
Very
yes,
cool.
it was fun. I mean, it's something that I love to do. I love to get in that family tree and just try to figure out, what was going on in their lives.
Awesome. Yeah, there's
That's
so many
amazing.
stories there. Stories.
Yes.
Just think about, I think of that with our families. Like, there's so many stories. I mean, some of them we'll never know. I mean, even
Right.
we're parents. Our children will never really know us before before they met us. Have you ever thought about that, John? Like maybe writing some of your memoirs down, like to pass on to your children? Like,
yeah, I mean, I've written some. Again, like I told you, I write stuff. I've written some stuff. I probably need to do a better job of writing it in a place where they can have it. I think that's another reason why I go so hard with getting the family tree together. And they've seen the family tree, and we've gone through it and talked about the different people and where they're from, but yeah, I definitely want to make sure I get something written down about my life and my experiences for my children and grandchildren and great grandchildren as well. Because I mean, I just have that thought, like, man, I wish that they would have done that.
right.
But
Right.
I got to try to piece it together through census records and letters and all of those things. So it's a fun thing to do.
Awesome. Oh, very cool.
Right. I have one more question for you, Mr. John.
Mhm.
What advice would you give to kids if they were interested in start writing their stories?
I will say start writing and finish. Finish. Because you can always edit it once it's finished. That's the thing. Like, so if you finish it and then you want to change something, like, you just go back and change it. Or if you want to add something, you just go back and add it. But get your thought out. When I went to Old Dominion, my minor was creative writing. And one of the things that they would always tell us to do, they would say, release the tiger. Release the tiger means write everything you're thinking, write it down, write it from beginning to end. Don't try to edit in between. Like, that's the one thing writers like to do. They'll start stopping and, oh, do I want to say that? Do I want to say that? No, just write it out. Just release the tiger, write it out, and then you go back and you can clean it up afterwards, because it's yours until you share it with somebody. So you can always clean it up afterwards, but just get every thought out that you have about the story that you're trying to tell.
That is
and read stories, listen to stories, read books. I love fables and folk tales and fairy tales. And I'm a storyteller as well. And so that has a lot to do with how I write my stories as well. I have that rhythm of what a story is like in my head. And so when I'm writing a story, I know, okay, it needs to be like this, and there's a certain pattern that needs to be followed.
awesome.
Very good. Awesome.
Yeah.
How many times have you, like, taken a conversation from somebody and we're like, I'm gonna make a story out of that? Yeah.
I don't think I've done it yet. I try to give, when I hear when they have a really good story, I try to encourage them to write that story down themselves. And I'll tell them, like, hey, you need to write that down, or I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna turn it into something.
Well, no,
So
I think
I'm gonna give you 2 or 3 months to get it done. And then after that,
oh no,
it might end up being mine.
well, maybe I said that wrong. Like, I didn't mean like steal stories. Boys and girls, I didn't mean to go steal stories. Maybe I said that wrong.
Look, no, but I'm saying, like, even with, like, story, like, say, folk tales, like, a lot of the folk tales that you hear, you hear different versions because people put their own spin on it. And so storytellers steal stories. So I'm telling you that now. Storytellers steal stories. Now they also will be nice and say, most of the time we'll say, I heard this story from such and such and such, and then you tell it, but you put your own spin on it. You put your own your own culture and your own feelings into the story. So yeah, that's what I meant. Like, telling me a story, instead, no, go ahead and write it down.
Yeah, well, sometimes I know when you're having conversations with people, like I'll draw some inspiration from music that way. I'm like, oh, I like what that person just said. I'm gonna remember that. That's gonna be a song. That's gonna or that might be the of it. So yeah, that's cool. Very awesome, John. I'm glad. I'm glad we could do this today. This was really cool, man. And I love that you.
This was wonderful. I thank y'all for having me. I can't wait to get out there to West Virginia.
Yes, come visit us.
We're gonna make that happen soon because I think when the weather's nice, we can do some outdoor activities.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
I'd definitely love to have you. And by that, so that was what I wanted to ask you. I don't know if you can share this yet or not, but do we have an idea of what book 3 of the adventure Joshua is going to be?
When it's going to come out, or what it is? What it
is? Well, I guess what and when. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, see, it depends. It depends on the success of My Mother's Wildest Dreams. So please share My Mother's Wildest Dreams and support if you can. Otherwise, it might be like the end of this year before I could get it out. The third book, because I was doing them by seasons too. So you kind of might see the first book, it was like a summer day. And the first book was a spring day. The second book was more of a summer day when they went to go fishing. Mm-hmm. So this next one is more of a fall book, and they go to the apple orchard and they have a little adventure at the apple orchard. It's fun.
Awesome. Oh, very cool.
Yeah. And then, so we have an apple orchard that we go to out here, like when we're going towards Front Royal. I think it's called Markham, Virginia, and they have some apple orchards out there that we like to go to as a family to go apple picking, and just to get out the suburbs and get out into the country, into the mountains, and just see something different. And so that's where I get most of my inspiration for that story is our visits to the apple orchard.
Awesome. Oh,
very cool.
Nice. Yeah. Hey, Northern Virginia has some beautiful.
Yes, they do.
You got a lot of stuff you can get to. You can get to it.
Yeah, there is. You can draw a lot of inspiration from the scenery around there. So apple tree. I have an apple tree song. I'm going to share it with you later on. So, maybe if we ever get together, you can read that and I'll sing my apple song.
Yeah, yes indeed. Yes indeed.
Author coming on next who wrote a book about apples too. So
delicious.
Going on here.
What's your favorite apple? What's your favorite type of apple?
Mine's pretty rare, but we had Grimes Golden on our farm when I was growing up, and they're delicious.
Okay.
I'm on this ambrosia apple kick. I found them in Florida, and they have them up here. They have like a honey taste to them.
Ambrosia?
Yeah, that's my new favorite apple right there. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try to look that up. My favorite is Golden Delicious.
Yep.
Oh, do you know where Golden Delicious is? This is where Amy and I shine now. Where's Golden Delicious from? You know where that apple's from?
Well, is it from West Virginia?
It is from West Virginia.
Okay, I really gotta get there now because I don't even mess. When I go to the apple orchard, I'm like, where's the Golden Delicious? Because I don't care about any of these other apples. I'll pick them for you and put them in a barrel. But the Golden Delicious ones, you're gonna have to wash them.
Cole County, West Virginia.
That's right.
Cole County, West Virginia. All right.
The very first Golden Delicious apple tree.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, those are the best, awesome. Man.
See, you really do love West Virginia.
I just haven't been, I'm gonna try to see the United States before I leave. I've seen like the East Coast and not even most of the East Coast. And that's more like driving through. But I want to try to start getting west. Like it was so bad, I didn't even know how you would get west of Virginia. That's how bad it was for me as far as knowing what's going on in America. Real quick story. So I had a friend, I was leaving work and I went to the gas station and some friends that I knew from Norfolk, this was in Fredericksburg, but I saw some friends in Fredericksburg, but I know them from Norfolk. I was like, what are y'all doing here? They was like, oh, we're on our way to Michigan. I was like, well, how y'all getting to Michigan? They're like, oh, you get on 17 and you take it out to such and such and you take it out to this. And I was like, oh, you go that way to go west? And they was like, Thank you for letting
Oh,
me
man.
know that.
So John, yeah, I got to share this then. I mean, like, Amy, I know you've been around the country, right?
Some little.
I've never been out of this time zone. So
Well,
hey,
you know what? No, I have been out the time zone because I went to Alabama, and Alabama is outside of this time zone.
Right.
yeah, I think we need to do another show then where we just all three of us do a travel.
Yes,
Right.
yes, we're going west. Take us west, headed west.
Oh, that's a dream of mine also. Oh man, we'll rent a Winnebago and we'll,
Yeah, man, we tell stories and play songs and make apple pie.
That's right. With our golden delicious apples.
Yeah, well, whatever apples they got in the state, I guess.
Oh man, that's fun. Love it. There's a story. All right.
See, I'm trying to tell you, y'all better write it down.
Well, well, hey, follow Mr. John on Facebook,
Yes.
Instagram. Do you have videos on YouTube? Do you have a channel?
Not yet. I need to figure that out, but not yet on YouTube. On Facebook, it is They Lived Happily Ever After LLC. On Instagram, my name is Mr. John _TLHEA. That stands for They Live Happily Ever After. That's the name of my company, is They Live Happily Ever After. And my website is www.theylivedhappily.com.
Okay.
Very
Awesome.
nice.
All right. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. Go
Yes.
out and buy. I want to read Third Adventure. So go buy.
That's right. That's
as many
right.
of
You
these
got
as you can. Buy one for your library. I know we donated some to our library here in Martinsburg.
Thank you very
We
much.
bought a copy to keep here, and then Amy's going to buy another set of copies to give out. So
Yep.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
So yeah.
Thank
go
you
buy.
so much for joining us, Mr. John. You've
Oh
been
no,
fun.
thank you for having me. Thank y'all for having me. Had a great time.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
All right, take care.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Well, should we do a final song?
Let's do a final song.
All right.
Tony will sing us out.
Yeah, I'm glad we went over to that. That was fun. I had a good time. Let's do a little audio song until next time. Don't forget, comment under this video. Maybe comment about something you liked. Even if you have a question, Mr. John will get on here and he'll check him and he could even answer you. So just get on the bottom in the thread, comment thread. Please leave a comment. We are giving away each one of his stories, so you could enter yourself for a chance to win. No purchase necessary. You will do the purchasing. All right. Amy, thank you for hosting us. And thank you to the library and Tony M Music Arts Foundation. Let's do a little adios tune before we head out. Adios. I'll see you later. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. And on the day we meet again, I'll give you a smile and say hello. And on the day we meet again, I'll give you a smile and say hello. All right, that is Rock and Read. That was Mr. John. I'm Tony. This is Amy. Thank you all so much. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.